Welcome to you all, each and every one of you, to the Loa and Multimedia program. And today we will continue the recitation of my Vavanga Book, Part 2. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodian of the lands here in Canberra, where I am broadcasting from the Mananga, Canberra here, from our studio. And also I would like to acknowledge the Her Royal Highness Princess Latu Fuipekatuko Aho, who is studying here for her PhD at the ANU, and all chiefly lineages from other ethnic minorities and whole of Australia. And also, I would like to acknowledge the religious leaders and also the leaders of this nation, and whoever is watching and will be watching this program, I would like to welcome you all. We come now to part 2. Last week we started reciting. I was reciting my book, my Vavanga Book, which is part 1, and now is part 2. I will continue, and we'll see how far we can go today. Last week we finished up with the overview of the book in chapter 1. So I will go back to that, and I think I will read again the overview so that we continue from the overview to the rest of chapter 1 and see how far we can go. And as we did last week, the program is only 30 minutes. So I will try to confine to 30 minutes again today. Anyway, I'll go to the overview. As you see from there to the background, I think I'll go there. Maybe this one there. Yeah, that's the title of the book, as most of you, as I know, are aware of, The Contemplative Pathway for Humanity, and Moanen Tongan Vavanga. So Vavanga in Tongan, in English, is contemplation or imagination. So I'll go to chapter 1 again. Let us go back to here. And I'll read the overview of chapter 1, continue. I'll reread it again, and then from there we'll continue to the rest of chapter 1. But the overview, as I have read last week, it goes like this. Chapter 1, Introduction, Overview. The fundamental principle of Vavanga theory centers on the appreciation of space, va, change, liliu, as an ongoing process, and the categories, ketoianga, of beings that generate the medium, alofi, of existence, iai, or reality, iai whakatamai. As previously mentioned, it involves an interaction or process characterized by change, vibration, motion, and action, incorporating both cooperation and opposition beyond temporal and experiential activities. It represents a juncture where Vavanga and Vavalo, as expressions of contemplation and imagination, extend the capacity of mind and souls to transcend time, taimi, ta as tempo, and experiences towards the infinite interaction of space, change, and beings. This perspective underscores a holistic comprehension of existence, eschewing reliance on socially constructed. I was reading here. I sense that it's not the right one. We have to continue from my preface. Last time we finished, I finished off with my preface, and I read the overview of the preface rather. So bear with me. I'll go back to the preface and start from it. It's the overview of the preface, not the introduction. I started reading the introduction. This expansive preface embarks on an intellectual odyssey, dwelling deep into the profound Vavanga theory with its Vafilosika philosophy. Its ancient Tongan roots in the Lo'au lineage and its contemporary significance in Her Majesty Queen Charlotte Tupou III's works and culture civilization generally. Emerging from the establishment of Lo'au University, a pioneering Moana Tongan fully online higher education institution, this exploration reveals the synergy between Western and Moana Tongan philosophies. Central to Vavanga theory is a captivating voyage into the ethos of space, Va, change, Liu, and consciousness, Laumari. This unique perspective elevates space Va to the forefront, overshadowing the significance of time, taimi, But the journey does not end with philosophical contemplation alone. It extends to a distinction between the truth of facts and the truth of reasons. And it strikes a harmonious balance between universal and particular elements, incorporating the profound themes of Albert Camus, the myth of Sisyphus, and Plato's allegory of the cave, has enlightened the entirety of the book. Sisyphus rolling a boulder uphill for eternity represents the human condition, striving for meaning in a seemingly absurd world, as it is reflected in the smile on his face. This is with the less worry about the ongoing burden of his daily experiential and temporal engagement in rolling the boulder uphill and downhill non-stop, which Camus took as absurdity. Furthermore, Vavanga theory shares some similarities with Plato's allegory, just as the prisoner in the cave must break free from ignorance to perceive reality or enlightenment. For that matter, individuals guided by Vavanga theory are encouraged to engage their awareness and encourage to expand their awareness rather, and engage in a conscious process of intellectual and philosophical exploration for attaining enlightenment. That's the overview of my preface, which as I mentioned before, I read it last week, but I just wanted to reread it so that I can continue from there to the rest. So whoever is watching and will be watching will have some good perspective of an understanding of what I'm trying here to share with you. Just okay. I'll continue on with the rest of the preface. Since the inception of the Loao University in 2011, which stands as the pioneering Moana and Tongan fully online higher education system supported by His Majesty King Situpou V, my intrigue in Vavanga has undergone a substantial expansion. This deepened interest has been further nurtured through collaborative engagements with esteemed individuals. Noteworthy figures among these collaborators include Professor Dr. Futa Ihanganahelu, Inoke Fotu Huakau, Professor Dr. Stareki Ataatafinau, Elias Tupou Ofa Kirk Huffman, Malakai Kolomatangi, Professor Dr. Stephen Halapua, Augustino Mahina, and David Kaili. The deep-rooted connection between Vavanga theory and the intellectual contemplations of Her Majesty Queen Salode Tupou III, including the ancient Tongan Loao lineage, Ha'aloao, has motivated me to dwell deeper into their principles. This inspiration had led me to compile personal notes and craft concise articles, which I have been sharing on the Loao University's website and social media pages on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter since 2011. Renowned for their contemplative, imaginative, and knowledgeable attributes, the Loao have significant, the lineage have significant, Loao lineage, have significantly influenced our universities' nomenclature, choice back in 1999. Our inaugural president, Huakau, a member of the newly established Lo'awi Research Society, drew inspiration from this lineage when naming our institution in Sydney. This pivotal moment marked the inception of a formal academic movement, uniting scholarly and professional colleagues like Professor Dr. Max Rimoldi, Dr. Marilyn Kapawale, Dr. Neil Kansun, Charles Lavaka, and Stephen Manuatu Tuisoso, alongside Atenisi alumni associations such as Mahina, Lawyer Lisiate Ikafu, Lord Tuyafitu, Reverend Kintoni Mafi, Reverend Losarina Veikoso, Penilangi, Dr. William Iwaske, and Dr. Robin Javier. Since the establishment of the Loa Research Society, I have been engaged in teaching and conducting research on Queen Charlotte Tupou III and the Loa lineage and their Vavanga method of contemplation. This pursuit has gained momentum and intensity since 2000 or 2011, when establishing Lo'au University with its new philosophy again by Huakau, known as education for thinking, ako ke whakakaukau. Furthermore, in my teachings and research at Lo'au University since 2011, I have seamlessly incorporated the notion of life for contemplation, mo'ui ke vavanga, to complement and enhance the Lo'auan philosophy of education for thinking. Additionally, my doctoral thesis completed in 2011 at Sydney 2 campus in Canberra, Australian Catholic University, ACU, in collaboration with the Sydney University, includes a dedicated chapter exploring the intellectual obligation whatungia of the Ha'aloau, as well as a thorough discussion of Queen Charlotte's Lakalaka of Takafalu group dance composition and their profound spirit of Vavanga. Please see the appendix. I'll read that after I have completed the preface. I'll go to this dance group Lakalaka composition of Queen Charlotte, and I will read the whole dance group composition Lakalaka because I would like to share with you why I decided to dedicate this book to Her Majesty Queen Charlotte Tupou III, because of her profound interest in the nature of her Vavanga way of life. As I said in the dedication of this book, last century, she was the uppermost contemplating Vavanga of the whole of Tonga, or the Pacific for that matter. But I will read here Takafalu, the Tongan and the English. The English version was translated by Professor Vidal. I'd like to share with you the depth, the width, and the height, and the length, the dimensions of of her Vavanga in Poetry Queen Salute. Indeed, the palace's chief orators, Matapule, praised Her Majesty as the last Lo'au, recognizing her deep knowledge and wisdom in revitalizing Tongan mea tu whaiwa art, rather, and Talaifonua culture. The main whatungia of the Ha'alo'au as the social, political, and cultural architectures to Funga Fonua was the formation of the royal cover ceremony, to Funga royal cover ceremony, Tamufakawa, and cover traditions in ancient Tongan society. In fact, they were the masterminds, Faifalei, under the reign of the 10th Tuitonga Momo around the 10th century in formulating and architecting the royal cover ceremony and cover traditions within their social, political, and cultural framework. However, the foundation of the Vavanga Book lies in a comprehensive fusion of enduring theories and cognitive reflections from the refined and cultivated minds atamai of various cultures and civilizations worldwide, without being limited to any specific context. This is because knowledge and truth transcend the boundaries of any specific culture or civilization. They possess a universal attribute. My academic works, along with the Lo'auans, Vavangans, and Vavalos, are deeply rooted in the ancient Tongan concept of Vavanga or Vavalo, which highlights contemplation, imagination, and thinking. For those of you who have just joined me, or in the future, I'm still reading my preface on my Vavanga book, the preface of my Vavanga book. And when I complete that, I will continue to chapter 1 of the book. So we have not limited ourselves to the approaches of Helu and Latukefu or Hauofa, who were influential figures in Tonga's academic landscape during the 20th century. Instead, we have embraced a comprehensive perspective by integrating and drawing from the strengths of their individual and distinct approaches. In addition, Huakau has developed another new Lo'auan theory of universalism, universale, which plays a significant role in this integration. His theory emphasizes considering realism and idealism, for instance, as two actual sides of the same thing, with distinct approaches to various modes of life and understanding. In this context, the approaches of Helu, Latukefu, and Hauofa are recognized as equally valid and true in their own individual rights, deserving of uttermost respect. Let's just check our time. 15 minutes past. 15 more minutes to go. Professor Dr. Ilayasi Futa Ihanga Nahelu and Reverend Dr. Sone Latukefu's work centers on the Western educational method, whereas Professor Dr. Eberi Hauofa established an authentic Moanan approach to inquiry developing a new island methodology and theory rooted in local concepts and hypotheses. His island methodology, however, and theory, which I have alluded to elsewhere as a kind of Vavanga. In our works, the Lo'awans, Vavangans, Vavalos, and I strive to combine the best elements of these two works, which I have spelled out in the Vavanga Book and my article entitled Autonomy and Creativity in Hau'ofa and in Ebeli Hau'ofa and the Lo'au Philosophy of Education for Thinking. This was published in June this year on the Pacific Studies Journal, Volume 47, Number 1, June 2024, of Brigham Young University in Hawaii. However, the discussion presented in this current volume of the Vavanga theory shares certain interconnected themes with the explorations I delved into in Hau'ofa's work. In response to this, I have introduced the term Vafilosika as a philosophy or novel world view. To life, worldview to life rather, within the Lo'awan, Vavangan, and Vavalo's frameworks of Vavanga theory, rooted in Tongan and Western knowledge, among others. The term Vafilosika originates from the etymology of Tongan metaphysical word Va, space, combined with simi, but with the exclusion of science because of its pragmatic and practical focus on substance and function of things. With Va, Philo, and Sika, they largely deal with the ontological form and metaphysical behaviors of beings instead. This fusion reflects the cognitive, formal, and universal characteristics inherent to this theory. Vafilosika represents the amalgamation of educational approaches advocated by Helu, Ladukefu, and Hau'ofa, embracing both Moanan Tongan and Western English perspectives, among others. Vafilosika philosophy is more or less like Aristotle's notions of golden mean, which means emphasizing the importance of finding balance and virtuous paths in life, as observable in his discussion of the moral concept of moderation and temperance. For him, this can lead on to justice and living well, or happiness, eudaimonia for that matter, which what he called as real good after all. This is the last paragraph. I think our time, it's finished, our 30 minutes. I'll just read this last part and we'll quit that for this evening. Moreover, Vavanga is contemplation focuses on exploring the dynamic and limitless of character of space and change as a constant process in the dialectical language of Professor George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. With the valuing of space rather than prioritizing time, taimi, or ta as tempo, in Mahina's sense. Also for Heraclitus of Ephesus in Greece, he asserted that the only real constant of change, that the only real constant is change. So Hegel's dialecticism of ideas, or spirituality for that matter, as an ongoing process of change is noteworthy. But Dr. Karl Marx's definition is equally significant as it goes beyond this cognitive conceptual aspect and embraces the material economic side of life. However, Marx believes that this dialectical transition can end up in a climax of classless society, as in Hegel's idealism of utopian spirituality, which is considered as their main shortcoming. And I think we run out of time. We already passed time. So I'll stop there and I'll come back. We'll continue from page 24 under the title, "This shows similarities between two viewpoints," from what I have discussed previously. But thank you for the time, and we'll continue next